Imagine, how are you guys this evening? Is this better? How are you guys this evening? We are going to practice our brain by cowboying up our imagination. When we get to work with a genius computer, AI, what really limits us is not computing power or access to what's going on. Greetings. We're cowboying up our imagination, where we're improving our imagination. How? By realizing this fact. We can increase our production if we can somehow get our brains to be more pliable, get our cells to have more imagination. Before AI, we maybe weren't as imaginative as we could be. What's going to happen, not even a bold prediction, just straightforward, which is that imagination is going to be a limiting factor. It's scarcity mindset. It's limitless possibilities for nearly no money, meaning AI costs so inexpensive computing. It costs so very little to get so very much. So what's the constraining thing? Us. Are we in a prison that we built ourselves? Not exactly. Hi, how are you? I'm Larry. Hola. Hello. We're talking about cowboying up an imagination where just the component of wearing a thinking cap is similar to how we were in school when we were told to sit down and put on our thinking caps, where when we're cowboying up our imagination, now we have a thinking cap that is seen from far away. Like you can literally see the fact that I have a cowboy hat on. When we're talking about cowboying up, thank you. I'm glad that you like my cowboy hat. We can cowboy up a imagination using some brainstormed ideas, which are these. What if we asked Grok or Claude or OpenAI, how would our favorite high school teacher be using AI? Where we can win at our upcoming week for May 19. Let's define winning. Being able to use a computer to improve our week. One of the things that we can do is invite a friend. I brought a friend with. His name is Brady. And people that are coming into this room can practice imagination. Now, this is not a room for people that are under 22 years old minimum, Because when we were in school, we missed out on potentially being a kid. This is the practice of us reclaiming brain power, reclaiming playfulness inside of our preparation for our week. Happy Sunday. Have you guys been having an okay weekend? I hope you have. Let's brainstorm some ideas to get better at imagination. Are you able to dance fully sober and move your body as if no one's watching? Because the reason I ask this is that motion creates emotion, creates imagination, where let's say dancing is difficult for us to do ever. What if we go on a walk where we set an intention for our walk to do what? Where we set the intention to increase our brain's access and mobility and flow. Flow state is where we just can't make any mistakes. Flow state is where we go from person to person being our best selves. Flow state is athletic performance where we seem to just be constantly producing good results. This flow state is possible if we flex the muscle or initially become aware of the muscle that our brain and imagination is in and of itself a practice. Coming up with new ideas, brainstorming, it's not a perfection. We're attempting to get slightly better, which is what the practice of this video is, where it doesn't need to be shipped perfectly. It doesn't need to be scripted, where what if twice a day during 11:11 a.m. and p.m., yes, I'm in America, what if we just asked ourselves, how can we better imagine outcomes? How can we better imagine new things to attempt? How can we imagine sitting in a room quietly without needing to be busy? What if we arrived at our meetings and scheduled events 10 to 15 to 20 minutes early and then sat quietly without touching our phone, practicing imagination? Here are some prompt questions that are AI appreciative, which will help us prepare. Prompting to prepare our imagination. What if our favorite high school teacher really loved AI? What if my dog could use AI? What would their goals be? How can I go on vacation this August for free? Do you see how when we use our imagination, we can ask AI for some pretty outlandish things? some examples that recently that I've done, which was this. What if Mark McCormack, author of What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School, what if Mark McCormack were to watch this YouTube video on artificial intelligence by Greg Eisenberg? Think about how specific and random of a question that is. In fact, when people say random, what they really mean to say is, oh my gosh, so imaginative. So when you are posing questions to prompt people to be brainstormy with us, with you, the goal is to get pushback where people say, oh my gosh, that's so random. Because things that seem random spark from our quilted together ideas via our imagination brain. Oh my gosh. Next methodology to increase our imagination. Let's say it takes us moments to fall asleep, or let's say we're having a hard time falling asleep. Asking our brain this: I wonder what creative things will spawn via my dreams. I can't wait to fall asleep and dream deeply. Because what we're doing here is we're meditating before falling asleep. What we're attempting to do is to get slightly better at practicing the muscle of imagination. Have we ever met before prior to this video? Hi, I'm Larry Chang. I collect things on what they don't teach you in school. And my imagination became sparked this weekend. Why? Because I was racking my brain after going to a YouTube creator mastermind hosted by Sarah Loretta. Sarah, thank you for hosting. And I thought to myself, instead of dumbing down my content so that way everybody would love my channel, what if I got one or two people to spend an hour and then make 2 hours? Meaning every hour that you invest here on my channel, it would net you more than 1 hour or potentially double. And the idea there is a concept called return on time, where we're able to take time and spend, in this case, 25 minutes, yielding more than 20 minutes. This is the imagination of my brain into your sphere, your influence, your neck of the woods, colloquially, because your brainstorm, your imagination would be, what if my YouTube time with me, Larry Chang, what if my YouTube time with this Chinese cowboy is able to net me more time than I spend? That's what my imagination perked up, because that as a goal using AI, that goal is actually incredibly specific and incredibly accomplishable, because we're able to have AI execute things for us. We just aren't imaginative enough to give AI tasks to do. A question for you guys. Hi, welcome to the room. I'm Larry Chang. I collect things on what they don't teach in school. A question that you guys can ask for AI is this: what if AI were to build me a website that would help me get better and better jobs? what if I could use AI to increase my YouTube distribution, because we all watch educational videos. We can come up with a playlist of these educational videos that then turns into a website where it's our best foot forward for, hey, this is my YouTube history, and I'm going to pick 1 or 2 videos per week that were educational. Now I'm going to have AI write a summary as if I am me at 40 years old. Or I'm going to write a summary as if I had a collaboration with the YouTube content creator. And so you can use AI to do a 3-way co-author with an example of, I watched a Jerry Detweiler video. I'm going to incorporate a book's author that I like, Mark McCormack, and myself. Hi, I'm Larry Chang. Now, what if these 3 people were to create a company to increase FICO scores? What if Jerry Detweiler, Mark McCormack, and Larry Chang were to create a company that would focus on inflating credit scores? Do you see how you're prompting AI versus saying, AI, I want to make $250,000. How do I do it? General, general, general. No good, no good, no good. Whereas, what if you asked AI, hey, can you take Jerry Detweiler, Mark McCormack, and Larry Chang and give me a company that those 3 would start? And then every week you ask YouTube, who would mentor Mark McCormack, Jerry Detweiler, and Larry Chang to increase sales $1,000? How can I do this by risking $0? And this is why this video on first pass is good. On second pass, it goes from good to great. Why? Because you're getting specific prompts to ask. Right now, you could use AI to replace a search engine. But what if you used AI for board of director functionality? What if you used artificial intelligence for venture capital functionality? These are all prompts that are $0. What we're doing here via this video is thinking, if I spent 25 minutes to rewatch this video to increase my imagination by improving on preparation and prompts, can I skip subscribing? Can I jump right from subscribing to success? What if this practice of imagination were connected to pen and paper, where you, on the second watch of this video, catch knowledge nuggets and Easter eggs as if you're a video game programmer saying, oh my God, the Easter egg of prompting, or asking AI every week, hey, how does this solo proprietorship improve? Proprietorship, which is a pre-incorporation, because we're just gonna do a proprietorship initially, because goal 1 can be a free vacation in December after Christmas, or a free trip to Osaka World Fair, or a free summer vacation, or a free weekend, or 1 free night. Something at such a low bar that if you don't accomplish your goal, you're going to be like, oh my God, I just totally forgot to accomplish my goal. That's the impetus. That's the stimulation. That's the the catalyst that we can use to put a practice on imagination. Moving our body via walking, moving our body via dancing, motion creating emotion inside of a stretching or yoga practice. So part of these things happen when you do hip openers, where you open up your hips and you do pigeon pose, or you do warrior, or you do Tai Chi. What our body does is it locks in old patterns. Our bodies store information. And when we move our body and do yoga, sometimes a hip opener releases emotion. Now, instead of thinking, oh my gosh, this Chinese cowboy is talking some woo-woo shiitake, think to yourselves, what if our bodies were to be moved slightly differently? So let's sit slightly differently from how you normally are. So let's say you're on your sofa, let's arch our back. And remember, we're changing ourselves as we cowboy up a slightly better imagination. Thank you. We are dropping some facts here. So in your seated position, let's sit up slightly more straight. Take a breath in through your nose, out through the nose. In through the nose, out through the nose. And notice how just sitting slightly differently, being aware of our back and being thankful for the body that we're in. We're going to part by connecting our body with our mind, with maybe thinking about getting a cowboy hat for ourselves, so that way we can increase our imagination. In reverse chronological order, the content that we provided was moving our body slightly differently via yoga, coming up with imaginative prompts and innovative preparatory questions, so that way our imagination can be improved as we ask the supercomputer at Grok 3 or Claude or Firebase over at Google, hey, what if I were to create a website that would make money on its own? What if I were to create a website that would pay for one free vacation per year? Initially, the vacation that you're going to go on is in Park City, Utah, skiing that costs $9,000, where you get a resort slopeside. Initially, no. Initially, it's going to be one free hotel night in a city that is 5 hours away from you, that is a couple $100. But what we're doing by practicing our imagination, which is how do we get AI to pay for a free vacation for us, which is hilarious, because if your AI doesn't get the job done for $0, you weren't using AI. Have we met before? I'm Larry Chang. If you haven't seen my content before, I curate things on what they don't teach you in school. And imagination is a topic that I will be revisiting. So if you want to hit notifications or subscribe or like, my videos will be sent to you. Alternatively, if you don't trust the YouTube algorithm, you can email me, lawrence.chang@gmail. Larry is a nickname for Lawrence. A lot of people actually don't know that. So the easier email, lawrence.chang@gmail. CHIANG. There's another email that's easier. It's larry@duck9.com. Also, my phone number is available if you use AI to search for my cell phone number. And I can send to you sending a text, but email works just as well. In fact, email does not work just as well. Since we're friends right now, you can go ahead and text me and screenshot. In fact, this is something that's useful. Screenshot using AI to get my phone number. My name again is Larry Chang, CHIANG. Fun hanging out with you guys. Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, what's up? How was your Shelby Sap sequence? So her imagination with she sells is off the chart, because who in the world would be questioning the imaginatively awesome success for high ticket sales that in and of itself is high ticket sales, where the workshop is not my workshop, Shelby Sapp's workshop, is $2,997. It's kind of a lot of money. What if you were to make $2,998 before you spend $2,997? This is something that is for a future video, which is every one of my videos should be positive time. Meaning if you spend 28 minutes watching a video, using AI and using time value of money, it should net you all 28 minutes back. This is the concept of investing time. Investing money works like this. We, you and I, we never risk any money. We only make money on $0 invested. We invest a little bit of time, which is why rewatching this video might be useful, because you're dipping in right now. What we're trying to do is to be time positive and cash positive. Let me repeat that. Let's be positive in our time allocation, where every hour that we spend, we should be making 1 hour. Ditto each dollar. We don't invest $1 until we make $1 using AI, agent intelligence. Does your AI agent need an agent? Yes, because some of this stuff requires a human to have imagination, because it's a super powerful computer that doesn't specifically have a goal. How are you? I'm Larry Chang. Thanks for visiting. In the comments, tell me what was appealing to Cowboy Up imagination. Just support your local chapter of the white blah, blah, blah. Grizzly Bear says, Cowboy. Rose LD said, why are you actually speaking facts? That's so true. That's so true. This is a Tom Brady treat. Yes, my dog is named Tom Brady. Why? Because having a good imagination really helps. Behind you. There it is. Nope, behind you. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, behind you. Nope. 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 No, nope, nope. Nope. There it is. Nope. Nope. It's right in front of you. Nope. No, no, no. It's not there. I'm trying to help my dog find his treat. Brady, it's over there. No. Brady, it's over here. Nope, 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 nope. There it is. Right there. No, eat your treat on your... How can we better use imagination? Time in, time out. Improving with that. Money in, money out. Where our money never leaves our pocket until we get money in. That's your AI agent needs an agent. That's time flow positive and cash flow positive.